Do people really know what this podcast is?
No, and I think that probably starts with the fact that we don't really even know what we're doing here. We like what we're doing, but what are we doing, Mark?
We decided that we are so interesting that other people are going to want to listen to us yap about different random life subjects. And then let's just bring a third friend on and have them join us for these random ass conversations and wherever the hell they go.
Get us mic'd up, pour a glass of wine. Let's talk about everything from mental health, relationships, dating, self-esteem, every intrusive thought you've ever had, health issues, whatever. We're going to cover it.
There's a solid chance that if you're listening to this right now, you could end up a guest on this podcast at some point. We'll have some sort of interesting conversation with you.
Yeah, I love it. Should we just jump right in?
Let's do it.
Can you swear on this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're not on Disney Channel. No one's picked us up. We can swear anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, who's going to fire us?
Yeah, we're adults.
We don't have a job.
Amazing.
We could eat cake for lunch if we wanted. We're big kids.
Yep. So much room for activity. Anyhow, so Hannah, we're damn excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
No
I
problem
can't
at all.
wait.
Yeah, are you ready for this?
I think so.
She's like,
I
yeah,
feel
it's a
ready.
podcast.
Because we didn't really tell you what we're planning on doing today. And so we actually have 3 of your ex-boyfriends that are here today. And we
They're underneath the couch.
Oh, God. Well, they're short enough. They probably fit under there. So.
Hey, Mark's sensitive about it.
We don't height shame around here.
Sorry, Mark. You know, as a 5'10" girl, I just had to throw it out
That's
there.
fair. That's fair. Hey, I'll have you guys know 5'7" in parts of Eastern Asia is incredibly tall. And so, yeah, I'm tall as fuck, actually.
No, absolutely. That's all. You put out the tall energy.
I
That's all that
identify as a
matters.
tall person, actually.
Exactly.
So that's-
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to.
I identify as a cool girl. Like, it doesn't mean it's true.
You came down yesterday and you were like, wait till you see my fit. It's so cool.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
fake it
you
till
really
make
do.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake
I'm,
until you make it 100%.
I'm a fashion bitch now. I try.
It was a cool fit.
Thank you. You didn't tell me that?
Well, I mean,
You kept it to yourself.
kind of jealous of the Adidas. They were nice.
They're fly as hell.
Yeah, they're fly as hell. So,
I feel like we should start with an intro.
yeah, let's get into an intro. So, Hannah, real quick, let's say somebody comes up to you. What would be the location, Anna? What do you think makes sense for Hannah?
What's like your dream girl date?
Ooh, I love coffee.
Okay.
I'm a coffee shop girl.
Okay. You're at a cafe then.
Okay, I'm at a cafe.
Somebody comes up to you, they're like, who are you? What's your story? Give like your 30-second elevator pitch.
I would say first, my name's Hannah, obviously. And then I would say I own a nutrition coaching company. It's called Macro Habits. That's what I do full time. And it's honestly like such a big part of my life now. As you guys know, with like content creation and just marketing the business, a lot of it has to do with just my day-to-day life. And then I would probably talk about my family, my friends. I'm very family oriented. I have a really good community in South Orange County. I love to work out, obviously. This is going to sound so cliche, but like long walks on the beach. Like I am just a beach girl. I love being outside. I wouldn't say I'm like an outdoorsy girl. Like don't take me camping. That's not my journey, but I do love the beach. I love living in Orange County. Love coffee. Love my job. So yeah,
I mean,
I would say that's kind of like me in a nutshell.
Fair.
we love that. We love that. We love anytime anybody loves what they do and they love the life they've created for themselves. Like that's absolute goal. So that's a beautiful position to be in.
Yes, I feel very fortunate and very lucky. Like I really do live a life that I feel like I've cultivated for myself, kind of by myself. And I'm very happy on my own. Although like obviously I would love to get married one day, love to have kids. I feel like very fulfilled in my current position.
Best place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Especially when you're dating too, because when you're that happy and like you actually thoroughly enjoy yourself, you're not looking for somebody else to complete you. You're looking for somebody to compliment you. And that's a very different position for people to be in.
Super different.
Yeah.
Walk me through your business. You said you have a nutrition company?
Yes. So I have a nutrition coaching company. It's called Macro Habits. There's a few facets to it. So I would say like the bread and butter of my business is my 12-week one-on-one coaching program. So I have 3 incredible coaches who all take clients in the one-on-one. And then I have like on my website, I have a separate section that's independent plans. So if someone doesn't really want the accountability or the communication, they know how to track macros, but they just need like an updated macro split, or they need to reverse diet, or they need to go into a cut. There's a few different avenues in that realm. They can buy just like an independent plan. And then I have workout programs. So it's all on the Playbook app. That's kind of the platform that I use for that. I have, I think now 8 different workout programs. All of them are pretty centered on like leaning and toning. That's kind of a big part of my business, I would say, is I'm all about doing workouts that work with your body to help body recomposition, not necessarily like inflame you or burn you out. So I have all my workout programs there. And then I have a podcast that I just started last October. So that's
exciting.
that's the business. And so it's great. It keeps me busy. I would say I'm always trying to kind of elevate it and continue to evolve. And I'm a very like goal-minded person. So I do have like, I would say, bigger plans for Macro Habits in general, but I bootstrapped the business by myself and kind of like started from the ground up. So I'm learning as I'm going. It's always just like a learning process, but that's kind of what Macro Habits is.
Okay, I don't know what macros are, 1, and 2, what is body recomposition?
Oh, let's talk about it. Okay, so you have 3 macros, okay? You have your carbohydrates, protein, and fat. So you track those 3 macronutrients. It adds up to 1 caloric number, but a macro split would involve a certain number of grams for protein, a certain number of grams for carbs, and a certain number of grams for fat.
Okay.
So I know that sounds complicated, but if you were to track macros for a week, it would click. Like it would make sense.
Okay.
Because you're hitting a certain number for each category. And all food has a certain macro profile.
Okay.
So some foods have better macro profiles than others, but that's what tracking macros is. And then body recomp. So the way that I kind of explain it is when someone is looking for body recomposition, it's losing body fat and then gaining or maintaining lean muscle.
Oh, okay.
Because there's different phases. There's like weight loss. There's, bulking. There's other kind of, I guess, words people use maybe in the realm of body recomp. But when I think of body recomposition, I think it's what I work with males too, but I would say I'm like 85% female based, but girls want to, lose body fat and gain lean muscle 90% of the time.
I was going to say, I've been in a constant state of cutting. I don't think I've ever been like, I need to bulk this year.
No. We need to reverse diet you.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what
I'm doing isn't working for me. I've only ever calorie counted.
Okay.
So like an apple.
Yeah.
What would that be in macro terms?
Okay. So an apple would be like 25 grams of carbs.
Okay.
Which would then be like 100 calories, right? Because it adds up to 1 caloric number.
Okay.
And so if you're tracking calories, and there is a difference between tracking calories and tracking macros. I would say like when you think about tracking calories, that's the quantity, but macros is the quality of what you're eating.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And I like tracking macros. I mean, obviously I've started a business on it, but with tracking macros, it educates you on the macro profile of food. So just now you asked me, okay, what's an apple? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's carbs, 25 grams of carbs, depending on the size. Mm-hmm. It just helps you understand food better. And I think like knowledge is power, especially in the food realm. And we're not taught as kids or even really in high school, like what food is and what the macro breakdown of it is. And when you understand the macro breakdown, you're able to fuel your body properly and have a more peace of mind about it. Because food is stressful for a lot of girls. And I'm not afraid to talk about that. It is. It used to be extremely stressful for me. I mean, I did like all the different fads, right? I've done Whole30. You do like the keto, you cut out, fats are bad and then they're good. And then carbs are bad and then they're good. It kind of just, it ebbs and flows based on what society is doing or what the celebrities are doing, So I feel like I've been on all ends of the spectrum of disordered eating. I've never had an eating disorder, but I think that a lot of girls experience disordered eating. Mm-hmm. And there's a difference. I always want to be careful when I talk about those terms because eating disorders are obviously very real and serious. But I think that a lot of the time too, girls just experience a lot of confusion, which then leads them into disordered eating because they just don't really know what to do. And they're like bouncing around. And that's where tracking macros for me brought me so much peace and knowledge, and it works. Like it really worked on my body. And I'm a very type A person, and I like to like know the system and understand the system, and then I'll kind of do it for forever. And so when I first started tracking, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like I'm allowed to have a burger. And then like my relationship with food gets better because I'm eating the burger. I know the macro profile. It fits into my macros. And then I just feel good after, instead of being like, I'm going to be so bloated. This is going to make me so fat. Like those are the things I used to say to myself before I would eat something bad. Food was always the enemy, but then tracking macros really opened like this new light to me where I was like, oh, okay. Like it's just this amount of carbs, this amount of fat, and this amount of protein. And a really healthy meal also has that same amount of carbs, fat, and protein. So anyway, long-winded answer, but.
Okay, so for body recomposition, do you recommend eating at a surplus, maintenance, or a deficit? Or does it depend on what what you're doing with whether it's cutting or bulking?
Very situational.
Okay.
So let's just use you as an example.
Yeah,
because I have you
let's do
in
it.
front of me.
Yeah, free client.
So
Oh no, she's charging you right after.
Oh no,
yeah,
no.
don't worry.
I'll run.
no, you get a free little one-on-one right
Consult.
now. Yeah. Okay, so you said you are under eating before this.
I would say for the most part under eating for 2 decades now.
Okay, so you are a reverse dieting client.
100%. But with that being said, like I feel like I definitely am more of a deprivation mindset, but then there's like moments where I'll binge, then have guilt, and then deprive. It's like it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, and just to give you, peace of mind, and every girl is kind of in the same realm as you.
Yeah.
Most girls I work with or my coaches work with are doing that same thing, like kind of consistently in this deficit mindset. But then you want to be a human and like go to Wingstop with your boyfriend and pound some wings, and like you don't want to give a fuck.
Absolutely. And I want to have a beer. I don't want to think about it. I want to live life.
But then after, do you have that kind of like snowball effect of, okay, like I feel guilty, or like I need to like starve myself tomorrow? I'm using strong
Exactly.
words here, obviously, just with context of speaking very freely on this podcast.
Oh, for sure.
And just being honest and transparent. Like,
oh, I'm completely open about that. There's no shame with this. I will just be like, oh, I just can't have dinner tonight.
yeah. Okay. And we're going to change that. Okay.
Oh my God.
Do you feel like you have a cheat meal mentality?
I have so what you were saying about the quality versus quantity was really interesting to me, because I've always had this mindset of like, okay, instead of dinner, I could have 3 Oreos.
Okay.
Because technically the calories are going to end up being less than a full dinner. But it's
you're
like,
getting
and
the
it's
sweet.
exactly what I want. But like, that's not good. That's not a high quality meal. I feel like I trade big meals for like little bites of something that would be considered a cheat.
Okay. And that's not awful. That to me is like you have good portion control,
Yes.
which is awesome.
I'm excellent at portion control.
And that's a superpower.
Okay.
So that's a really great thing. And that's what a lot of people struggle with, is they have this like all in or all out mindset.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at, like, if someone puts, like a cake in front of me or like a bowl of ice cream, it doesn't cause me any stress, because like I'm just going to stop when I'm full. Maybe it's 4 bites, maybe it's 7 bites, maybe it's half of it. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And so I always say tracking macros are the guideline for you, but they don't control you.
Okay.
I'm really big on tracking macros with an intuitive approach. And that's why, like, my platform, I'm so passionate about constantly showing, like, I go out to dinners and like I go on dates and I eat all foods. I don't cut anything out. But when I'm at home in routine, I'm dialed. I'm very aware of protein intake. And then I'm super disciplined with portion control. And I feel like that's just what you said. You have good portion control.
Definitely.
Which is awesome.
Yes. Is it possible to, this is probably a stupid question, is it possible to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, or is that a myth?
No, that's totally possible.
Okay, at the very same time you can do that.
Yes, you
And
have
how
to
do
be
you do that?
disciplined. Yes. So with reverse dieting, I would say that is what like my niche is. And when I started Macro Habits, because I reverse dieted myself, because I got stuck in a low calorie deficit tracking macros, and I stopped seeing results, and my relationship with food started to plummet, because I was like, okay, I only have 1,500 calories. Like, you start to get a little that like scarcity mindset, and I stopped seeing results. So I remember the girl that I got my first macro split from years ago, she dropped me lower. And then I was like, oh shit, okay, well, this is going to be hard, but I'm pretty dialed and disciplined. So I was like, no, I can do this. And then it just got to a point where I was not seeing results. I was starving. It wasn't working. I actually started to gain a little weight, and I was like, what's happening? Then I reverse dieted myself, and I was like, holy shit, every single girl needs to do this. It changed my relationship with food. It changed my body. And during COVID is when I started Macro Habits. And I just was like, I know this is not going to be an attractive platform or an attractive thing for a lot of girls for when I tell them you need to eat more and trust me. But thank God a handful of girls and a handful of influencers trusted me, and I like completely changed their bodies by increasing their macros, obviously calories too, in a very strategic way. And once you understand the power of properly reverse dieting and looking at food as fuel and being consistent with it and watching your body get smaller, it's the most incredible thing.
Okay, because I feel like I have, like, I was talking to you about ankle lipo before this. Like, I am very restrictive, but I feel like if anything, it's like not fat that I'm gaining. It's almost like a layer of water. I feel like I have just a casing of water all over my legs, and it's inflammation.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be because of not reverse dieting?
Well, I would say you might have a damaged metabolism.
Yes.
Just as like a general kind of term for that. Really, that means that your metabolism is conserving, right? Because your body's very smart. Like its one sole purpose is to survive. So it doesn't really care how you look aesthetically. It's focusing on the internal aspect. So if you're not fueling your body properly, you're not intaking enough food, it is going to slow down to conserve energy. Because if you think about it, when you think about your day and you're like, okay, I worked out for 45 minutes today. In your mind, that's the only type of movement you did. But in reality, you have so many other factors that are burning calories.
Oh, just existing burns. I didn't realize that was a thing. I like found a platform where I like input my weight, height, activity level. And it was like, oh, you're burning 2,200 calories just by existing.
Yeah. Like your BMR, like my BMR is 1,400 calories. So if I sat all day and did absolutely nothing, my body would burn 1,400 calories.
Incredible.
Which is amazing. But if you're not consuming enough, your body's going to conserve and it's going to hold on.
Yeah.
So that's where, and I will say this, you have to properly reverse diet. There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And I do it the right way. And I have thousands of testimonials to prove that. I've changed so many different body compositions with properly reverse dieting because we're tracking macros here as well, not just calories. If you reverse diet just tracking calories, that's a little, that could have a little bit more of a bulk to cut vibe in a way. But with macros, like I'm giving you a number of grams of protein, carbs, and fat. So you have to be strategic with what you're eating. You can still have 3 Oreos, but if you have 3 Oreos, you're gonna need to have, 4 ounces of chicken at lunch and not, a roll with peanut or just something that's like higher in fat, higher in carb. You know what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying. I obviously don't want to give away like part of your plan, but like what are a few tips that you think are like proper must follows for proper reverse dieting?
So I would say first thing is you need to have a food scale and you need to download a tracking app.
Okay.
And I think that I want to so with the food scale, a lot of people are scared of the food scale. It's very overwhelming. It feels like restrictive, but I look at the food scale as a tool in the toolbox.
I'm terrified of it.
Okay.
Terrified.
Well, we're going to order one off Amazon after this and I'm going to give you the full brief on it. But here's the thing with the food scale. It's just showing you the amount that you're eating. And it's no different than measuring tools. I like using a food scale because it's less dishes. If you're like pulling out measuring tools every meal or snack, that's where I feel like it's more tedious. But using a food scale is like really simple and it's going to show you the exact amount of what you're eating and it's the most accurate way to track. And then downloading an app, I use the Lose It app. I really like that one, but really I'd recommend using whatever app you feel most comfortable with. MyFitnessPal, there's so many different tracking apps out there. Then once you start to plug in your food that you're eating throughout the day, you start to see the macro breakdown of it. So you can be like, oh my gosh, like I'm consuming 25 grams of fat before 9 a.m. No wonder I'm eating. You just like opens up your eyes to what you're actually eating.
Yeah.
And so with reverse dieting, go back to your question, download an app and get a food scale for sure.
Okay.
And then I would say focus on your protein first. Like keep it simple. Let's just track protein. Don't worry about fats and carbs yet. Let's just see how much protein you're averaging per day.
And how much do you suggest protein? Is it like per height, pound? How do you measure it?
So all those factors included, and then also how much you're consuming on average. So for example, let's use you. So if you're coming to me and you're like, okay, you fill out my questionnaire, I can see all these different areas. I have you do a 3-day food recall because I want to see what you're eating on average. That's a big part of it. Let's just say you're hypothetically speaking, consuming 70 grams of protein a day on average.
Okay.
I would not start you higher than 80 to 90 grams.
Okay.
Because I want to build. Yes. Because if you went online and you put your activity level, you're tall too.
Yeah.
So your height, weight, they'd probably put you at 140 to 150.
Exactly.
If you ate 150 grams of protein in one day right now, you would have horrible digestion. You'd be constipated. You would be bogged down. You would be like, I hate tracking macros. This is awful. I'm never doing this again. So I think that's where there's a lot of power in reverse dieting.
Yeah.
Because I slowly increase certain macros strategically. I drop some, I bring some up. Once again, this is so situational based on the client. And then you feel good as you are increasing your kind of protein threshold because it takes time. Protein has the highest thermic effect. So your body burns the most calories digesting protein. to give you that boost of motivation, everyone listening, to go eat more protein.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I eat like 160 grams a day right now. That's what I'm really striving for.
Okay.
And my metabolism's on fire because like I'm consistently hitting that number, and a lot of my body is doing the work just through digestion.
Wow. Did you know that? You knew that.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
Not on the big, like, macros has never been something that I've counted, but protein has always been something that, like, if you're not consuming enough protein, like your body needs protein. And there was a period of time where people were like under eating protein. Now we're getting to a point where everybody's kind of packing everything with protein, which is, can be good. Also can be too much if people are consuming too much at one time and not letting your body digest it. But yeah, I mean, I've always looked at, like, you've got one body in life. So you got to like you got to take great care of it, and you got to learn your body and what it needs. And everybody's body's a little bit different. But talk to us about when you started Macro Habits. What was the goal? Because obviously, like, so for anybody who doesn't know, or Anna, I don't know how much you know about it, but Hannah has a diehard female audience. Like, I go on there and I have like 300 women that I know that follow her. Like,
that's friggin' awesome.
crazy.
These women
So
trust
sweet.
you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
even posting her on my Instagram story the other day, got like so many messages from girls like, "Oh my god, I love her, huge fan, blah blah."
Oh my gosh.
And
so sweet.
yeah, I was like, why? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Like, she's kind of a bitch.
No, she's great. She's great. But so when you started this Instagram, like, what was the goal? Was it automatically from day one, like Macro Habits? And like, was it something where you were documenting your journey and then other people kind of started learning from it and then it became a business? Like, what was the goal when you started Macro Habits?
I've never really talked about this, but I started Macro Habits with less than $300 in my bank account. I was so close to having to ask my parents for money, and there was just no way in hell I was going to do that. I actually, just to get some context for this question, I was a Orange Theory coach. And then during COVID, that all kind of got taken away, obviously, temporarily. But for 6 months, we didn't really have a job. And during that time, I was just doing a lot of kind of like self-reflection. How old was I? I'm 30 now. So I think I was 22 or 23. And so I was living at home and I was just kind of like, what am I going to do? I dropped out of college. It just like wasn't really for me, but I've always had a very strong like work ethic and drive. And during the downtime when everyone was getting like the government checks, they were having so much fun and I was like miserable. I'm like, I want to work. Like, this is just like, when is this going to go back to normal? It started to go back to normal. Long story short, there was a bunch of pay cuts at Orange Theory. Like, obviously everyone's kind of in the trenches. It's a very weird time in the world. And then I ended up randomly moving home from where I went to college, and I did door-to-door sales for solar because I was like, I need to make money. Like, I'm running out of money. And it was really stressful for me at that point. And when I was doing door-to-door sales, like, I just was like, this is not my journey. Like, I was miserable. I loved the camaraderie of being with the team. And so many of the guys that I was with really helped me start Macro Habits in a way, because they were kind of like, what do you like to do? Like, I don't know. I was kind of maybe the odd one out in a way. And then one night I just completely like broke down in a parking lot with one of the guys that I was out doing door-to-door sales with. And I was like, I don't know what to do, but this is not for me. Like, as much, I know you can make money. I know how to work hard. I'm knocking the doors every day, but this is like not fulfilling me. And he kind of brought up the macro thing. He's like, will you track macros? You've got all the guys here tracking macros. Like, you have your nutrition certification, all these things. And then the next day I posted a what I eat in a day on TikTok, and I got over 100,000 views. Wow. And then that morning I had 3 girls DM me and they're like, hey, can you please do my macros? And I was like, yeah, just Venmo me $30. And then I made, $90 in 1 hour. And I was like, holy shit, I have something. And I stayed in the next 2 days from selling. All the guys were like, do your thing. They kind of helped me write a rough business plan. I flew home, and thank God for my mom. She's a very, very successful woman in business. And we sat down and got on the whiteboard, and I'm like, what am I going to call this thing? Like, and she helped me kind of create Macro Habits as the name. I didn't want my name in it because I think that when you start a business, you have to be very strategic with the name, because if it's Hannah Health or Hannah Fit, Hannah's attached to it for forever. Yeah. I wanted something that could grow and that I could maybe sell one day, or I don't know. I just had a very entrepreneurial mindset from the get-go with it. And yeah, then I started in my parents' basement and I lived at home for a year, and I worked literally like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and it really took off. So that's the story of it.
I love hearing people like
That's
that
sick.
win.
I just got fired up.
I know. I want to punch a wall.
When she said she got the Venmo, I was like, let's fucking go.
I never would have thought to do that.
You would have thought I made $900,000. I was like, I can pay my car payment this month. I am not going to ask my dad for money. Like, I was just like, let's go.
That's a grinder.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's sick. I love that story. I don't know how I didn't ask you that before, but like, yeah, I'm glad I heard it on the podcast.
I've never told that. So that's, yeah.
Damn.
That's incredible.
So to answer your question, kind of more just straight to the point, I think that when I started the Instagram and everything, I knew that I wanted to create a coaching program that ultimately helped improve a girl's relationship with food. Because tracking macros has a negative connotation in a lot of ways, or maybe has like stereotypically, oh, you're restrictive. Oh, you have an eating disorder. Like, I think that tracking calories and tracking macros can kind of be put or have a negative spotlight on it. And I wanted to change that. I'm like, no, you can track macros and it can dramatically improve your relationship with food if you do it the right way. So I wanted to start something that really showed it in a positive light and showed how you can really change your body, not only by obviously tracking macros, but improving your relationship with food. I will stand by that if I can change the way someone thinks about food, their body will follow suit. So
damn.
No, I love that.
This is, hey, I love this. I love this. So, okay, so when you started the TikTok and you start first putting out your, you know, what I'm eating in a day and everything like that, did you ever get discouraged? Because I feel like there's a lot of times where people are, you know, hey, I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting this vulnerable content of me talking about my life and things like that. And let's say you put out a video and it doesn't get 100,000 views, it gets 1,000 views. Or maybe right after you drop the one with 100,000 views, maybe the next one only gets 10K or something along those lines. That can eat at a lot of people, and they start second guessing themselves, and now they don't want to put themselves out and they get nervous about it. Did you ever go through anything like that?
Oh, I still go through that. Are you kidding? It's a game. The algorithm, content, I mean, you have to just always remember that just because a video doesn't do well doesn't mean you're not doing well.
Yeah.
It's just a video.
It's not a marker of it.
No, not at all. And the more consistent you are, the higher of a chance you'll have for that next video to absolutely pop off. And once that next video pops off, the ones that did kind of bad are probably going to get more traction and the views are going to naturally go up on those. So I would say with that, like, yes, there have been times where I've like been so discouraged and so frustrated and felt like, okay, I don't really think people want to see what I'm doing. Like, that video got, you know, this amount of views, that video got that low views. Like, are people over me? Like, you always are in your head. And I think it's so important to remember that it's not that serious. Just keep posting, but also, you know, pivot. If you keep doing the same type of video and it's not working, change up your verbiage, change up the video, try something new. I think it's really important to always continue to evolve in the social media space. It's a very competitive realm, but there is enough room for everyone. And I really want to say that, like, it doesn't matter what you start with or what you're doing. I can guarantee, like, to this day, anyone can create a very successful business with the amount of traction that social media gets and just the opportunities within social media. I just think you got to have like grit, consistency, and you have to be passionate about it.
Absolutely.
And
volume makes the tide rise. So like if you put out a video that doesn't do well, just remember that could be a launching pad for the next one. So like it's doing something whether you feel it, like it or not.
Yes.
Okay. Important question. If not important really though, if you think about it. As a woman, I feel like most women are always doing something to like prepare for a vacation or a photo shoot. Do you have specific protocol that you follow like in preparation for something where you want to feel your absolute best?
Oh yeah. I do. Let's get into it. I am such a big self-care girl. And also I am all about when I have something to get ready for, okay, I will do all the little things. And I'm super transparent about that. Like, I feel like if you look at macro habits, you're like, this girl likes a little self-care. You know, I am not shy to say, like, yesterday I did my lymphatic drainage massage, which, you know, Raina.
Yes, freaking love Raina.
Love her.
She's one of the best people
asked her
ever.
about you.
Oh my God.
I was like, wait, I'm going on this podcast tomorrow. And you follow her. And she was like, I love her. You were going to be obsessed. I'm like, oh, honestly, I already knew I was going to like you, but I just got so excited because Raina's the best.
I instantly, like, as soon as I met her, I was like, oh, we're like soul sisters.
Yeah.
And then I asked her what her birthday was, and it was May 12th, the day after mine.
Oh,
which is Nicole's birthday, who we're going to dinner with. I love my Taurus bitches.
My dad is May.
Whatever. I probably would love him too.
No,
What's your birthday?
I'm December 31st. I'm a Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn. Okay.
But Capricorn and
New
Taurus,
We're very similar.
I'm always aligned with Taurus.
Yeah.
Very
We're
much so.
we're very driven.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
let's
to answer
go.
your question, if you are getting ready for a photo shoot, trip, or whatever, first thing I'm going to say is the sauna. Because I feel like that's a pretty attainable thing for a lot of people. A lot of people's gyms have saunas, or even just in like, there's like sauna studios now and all that stuff. But the sauna is incredible. 30 minutes in the sauna is amazing for just getting rid of that layer. Like kind of like you were talking about. You're sweating out the toxins. I'm a big fan of the sauna. And I would do like 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes if we're talking about like 7 days before the shoot or 7 days before the trip.
Or before a wedding.
Before a wedding.
Oh.
I mean, if we're girls who are listening, if we're getting married, come to me now. Let's start that prep now. Like I like to do like 6 months to a year out, honestly.
Yeah.
If we're really talking about like getting you to your goal, physique by then. But if you're just trying to like look good, feel good kind of quick, the sauna is amazing. I would say hydration. I know that sounds kind of just not important, or maybe like it's overused, but truly, if you can increase your hydration 7 days before, you're going to help so much with water retention. You're going to have 3 days where you feel waterlogged. So I'll tell you that right now. If you're not drinking enough water and you start drinking a lot more, give yourself like 3 to 4 days for your body to like get used to it. And then everything kind of comes off. Digestion gets a lot better. I think we need to talk about digestion, because a lot of girls struggle with digestion, and that's going to help your
constipation or the
digestion.
other.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Most girls are, not going every day, and that's a problem. So I would say getting on a good probiotic is really helpful too. And the one that I like for digestion is seed. I love
Is that the green
seed.
one?
Yes.
Okay.
So good for digestion. Also doing like a digestive peppermint tea at night is really helpful.
Okay.
Dandelion root tea in the morning, electrolytes in the morning. And then I would say 80 ounces to 128 ounces a day, depending on how much you can drink.
Okay.
3 sessions in the sauna. I would not go kill. Here's the thing. Don't go kill yourself in 5 Orange Theory classes that week. All that's going to do is inflame you.
100%. Yeah.
So I would actually focus more on like recovery aspect of things, what you're putting in your body, and then just walking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to get rid of all that inflammation.
I go to the sauna twice a week, or twice a year.
You're like twice a day.
year.
Twice a day. No, I go to maybe twice a year.
Okay.
So like there it is.
There it is.
Step
Once a
1.
week, even just once a week, 30 minutes. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a girl, like the hair, it's a lot, it's a lot. You got to be strategic with it.
Yeah.
You got to sauna at the strategic time, but it makes all of the difference. Epsom
Done.
salt baths. Sorry, I'm like thinking of things as I'm talking. An Epsom salt bath with a cup of Epsom salt and magnesium flakes at night. You will wake up feeling so good. Throw some peppermint tea in there in the bath, castor oil patch. You will wake up. You'll have amazing digestion. You're going to feel less inflamed, less bloated. Yeah.
I just feel like you just like transformed
And honestly,
my world.
well, I love that, because a lot of the things I'm saying, I'm going to be real. They are not hard. They're easy. Like throwing a little castor oil in your belly button with a patch over and going to bed takes 3 minutes.
What does that
what's
do?
Yeah, what's that do?
Okay, let's talk about it. This is something weird that I do that I stand by. This will be a game changer with your digestion. Okay. So you want to make sure your castor oil is organic, cold pressed, and hexane free. Very important. You're putting it in your belly button. So you want to
Okay.
make sure that it is a high quality castor oil. And then I just do a little droplet in my belly button, rub it around for a second. You can put it on your full lower abdomen. I just don't like the castor oil to spread on my clothes and sheets because it stains. So just know, like, if you do that way, yes, that's like you're getting it on a larger area, but just be aware that you can like stain your sheets.
Yeah.
But I just get a little patch. I get them off Amazon, just like a little sticky patch. I pop it over. Heating pad will definitely help like the full benefit of it. I like to put a heating pad on it for like 20 minutes. That also helps with bloating too, which is great. You sleep with it on. In the morning, you take it off and you're good to go. But your belly, like the castor oil, it helps with like everything. Inflammation, digestion, bloating. Your belly button has like 70,000 nerve endings, which is crazy. And the castor oil just helps excrete toxins. There are going to be some people right now who are like, this girl is crazy. Like, that's not true. And I'm just going to say, not only have I seen the benefits of it, but so many other people. I also think it helped regulate my cycle as well. I would just say you don't want to do castor oil patches when you're on your period, because it will increase blood flow.
Interesting. See, you can't say that it does nothing if that's the case.
I know.
Like, clearly it's making your body move.
Yes, it's amazing. And it's so easy, and you can travel with it. It's like definitely a hack that I would say that's in like if you're trying to help your digestion or become more regular, that's a really great way.
I immediately thought of my spray tans. I'm like, is it going to take it off?
Yeah.
I think I can survive if it means I'm regular.
You could do the pack though.
Okay.
So the pack is like a cloth wrap, and you could even just do a little bit in your belly button with the cloth wrap, and wear a big old t-shirt just in case, and you'd be okay.
Okay, so if I have something like I have a huge swim photo shoot and I want to feel like my absolute most confident best self, you're telling me magnesium, Epsom salt bath after the sauna.
I would say sauna or bath.
Either or. Okay, castor oil, peppermint tea, go to sleep, wake up feeling incredible.
Wake up feeling incredible, and then you're going to have your...
And walk.
Walk, yeah.
You're going to walk. Even doing like... And I'm talking about right now someone who's not really regimented in any way. I just don't think like going and hitting the heaviest weights possible. That's going to inflame you. So you want to ease into it, right? So if you have a photo shoot or a trip, I wouldn't say these are things to help with the inflammation. I do think like strength training is absolutely incredible and imperative, but maybe do like 2 30-minute sessions, not 5 days of 60 to 90 minutes, following the girl on Instagram that has a huge ass. And, you know, we're not there yet, you know?
Yes.
And then you're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to take your seed probiotic.
Okay.
Start with 1, little strong, you know, then work your way up to 2. Dandelion root tea. I would do electrolytes, lots of water, and then 30 grams of protein.
That's so doable.
Right?
That's so doable.
Super doable.
And I know you guys to be honest.
But I've never done any of it.
Oh, I'm going to write you at dinner time. I'm going to write you a little schedule.
Stop it right now.
No, it like so fills my cup. I'm like, talk dirty to me. Let me get
100%.
I'm going to help
You're
your
flirting
digestion.
with me.
I am.
You're flirting.
So if someone's getting their like steps in for the first time, how many steps are we talking? What's a good daily step count?
I would say, so I don't track my steps. I have an Oura ring, so it like naturally tracks it for me. But I am not someone that's like, if it's 8 p.m. and I only have 8,000 steps, I'm not like walking around my house till I hit 10,000. That's not happening. I think that's a little bit obsessive. I would say, if you are someone that likes to have a goal number though, I would say anywhere from 8 to 10,000 is a great starting point. Walking is very easy for most people, and it's low inflammation, and it can be done in a lot of different places. Outside, if it's safe and like weather permitting, on a treadmill, walking pads. It's honestly just, I think, comes down to like laziness and being disciplined, and like getting on the treadmill or getting on your walking pad or taking 45 minutes and going on a walk. Do not underestimate the power of a 45-minute walk.
It's huge.
It's a game changer.
Mental health too.
Oh, and you like call your mom, call a friend, listen to a podcast, listen to uplifting music, like romanticize the 45-minute walk. I think that's important too. If you don't like to do something, let's find a way where we can romanticize it to make it a little bit more attractive.
Absolutely. I also, what's the one form of therapy where it's back and forth? Is that EMDR?
Yes.
So they're saying that walks have like parallel benefits, because when you're walking, you're looking left to right, left to right, left to right while you're processing whatever you're thinking about. So like something about your cortisol levels, heart rate, blood pressure, whatever, the benefits are like unbelievable after taking a 30-minute walk.
Wow. I've never
like,
heard that, but
works
that
like
makes
therapy.
sense. That's crazy.
So look at it like that, like 2 in 1.
There we go. See, habit stacking.
Exactly.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Castor oil on my belly button as I'm walking.
You're going to be like walking with a wrap,
red
tea
light
in one
mask,
hand, electrolytes in the other. You're going to be like just this walking vision of health.
Oh, one thing, I'm obsessive, and I will try to get as much done as I possibly can in one session. So
you're my type of girl.
Yeah, give it to me.
I'm excited to see this. I'm very excited to see
this. Oh, wellness, bitch.
Okay, so Hannah, give us like, obviously you mentioned the castor oil on the belly button. I've never heard that one before, but but listen, I'm down to try anything, anytime ever. What are your like 3 other most, I guess like, I don't know if random would be the word, but like, what are your 3 like health tips for somebody that you wouldn't naturally think about?
Ooh, that's a good question. Castor oil obviously definitely falls in that. I feel like that one's a little, like I said, kind of woo-woo. The next health tip I would say might not be one that's talked about a lot, but I think like spirituality has really changed my mindset in life and just helped with things that would trigger unhealthy habits. So like with me, like I can be an anxious person. I can be in my head, a little bit of a control freak. You know, I'm self-aware. Like, and I think me really learning how to turn to God and developing my relationship with God has helped my body composition in a way, because I feel a lot more centered. I feel calmer. I'm very strict with my morning routine and starting my day with God, starting my day with my devotional. And I think how you start your day really sets you up for success. If you start your day in fight or flight, you're checking Instagram, you're checking your DMs, you're checking the boy that you think's hot that didn't text you, you are setting yourself up to kind of spiral. That's going to cause emotional eating. That's going to cause, maybe you're working out obsessively. It's just going to kind of fuel these obsessive traits. So I think that finding something in the spirituality realm, it doesn't look the same for everyone, is actually like a health and wellness hack. I would say that one. Last thing I'm trying to think of something that's not as common that I would recommend with that. I feel like I like to keep things simple. And I think that along with, maybe the castor oil is a little weird and the spirituality element, kind of going back to our previous conversation, like I think recovery isn't talked about enough, and like inflammation isn't talked about enough. And a lot of people have like high cortisol, high inflammation. And if you are investing in 3 gym memberships, I would recommend taking off a gym membership and investing in a lymphatic drainage massage or a sauna place if your gym doesn't have one. Doing things in the recovery realm have dramatically improved my body recomp. I used to be obsessed with like spin and really intense workouts, and I wasn't seeing results because my body was just tight and inflamed all the time. And I'm already pretty like high stress, a little bit of a control freak, like I said, working on all those areas daily. But I think the element of recovery, to answer your question, would be like my third thing.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I heard, can I interrupt really quick? Something that piggybacks on that is a big thing I've recently been working on is like not everything's an emergency. So I saw a video where it's like slow it down, like where you're like stirring something really fast and you're pacing back and forth in your house and you're like, okay, actually, I am just brushing my teeth and making a phone call. Like this isn't life or death. Like I have the right to move through this calmly and slowly. And just by like taking a deep breath and being like, I'm not in threat. I'm in no danger, like has massively helped my mental health. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with the cortisol, but then also like your thyroid. I feel like your thyroid aspect with stress, cortisol, all of that, massive reason why a lot of women are holding on to weight. 100%.
Do you have thyroid issues or?
I technically was diagnosed with Hashimoto's.
Okay.
3 years ago. But I don't know that much. And like my doctor said at the time that it's probably because my body is fighting something in like autoimmune wise. And they kind of pointed to my breast implants at the time.
Okay.
And then I got them removed and I had a lot of symptoms alleviate. So they were kind of pointing to like my body just fighting an outside object.
Like the breast implant illness?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But like, I think it's the case? No, I think about birth control. I think about undereating, overeating, stress, rocky relationships, like all of those things play into how our body functions.
No, 100%. I have hypothyroidism.
Okay.
So the thyroid I'm glad you brought that up because I think the thyroid is like the nucleus of your hormones.
Oh yeah.
So if your thyroid is off, a lot of other things are usually off. And Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism actually go hand in hand according to
what's the difference?
Hashimoto's is, I believe that I don't have that, but I think it's where like your body is attacking itself in a way.
Yes.
And hypothyroidism is your thyroid is underactive. Hyperthyroidism is when you have an overactive thyroid.
Got it.
So when I actually found out I had hypothyroidism from, I was doing spin, like I said, like 60-minute spin classes 4 times a week at night. It just absolutely fucked my thyroid for lack of a better word. And once I cut out spin and did some other things, got on medication for all these other things, like my thyroid got a lot better. I'm now not on any thyroid medication.
Amazing.
And it's in the green. Like I get my blood work done every 5 to 6 weeks. I'm like psycho about that. I literally got done yesterday. And because I think it's really important to stay on top of your levels, because if your thyroid is off or your estrogen's low or estrogen's too high, you got to fix that first in a way before you start to go into the other things.
Where do you get those things checked? Because I feel like a lot of women have a hard time with Western medicine and like they'll push back. They'll just be like, hormones are fine. Just try this pill.
Oh, you got to advocate for yourself.
Big time.
My doctor knows, like when Hannah emails me, she's serious. They hate to see me coming. I'm like, okay guys, ready for my blood work again. She's like, we just did this. I'm like, I want to see it again. Literally yesterday I went in, got everything. I'm on peptides too. So I like do my blood work as I'm on peptides, also on Accutane. So I'm just trying to make sure we're all good. You know, everything's in alignment. alignment.
Smart.
The levels are good. So I have Kaiser health insurance and I just email my doctor and say, I want a full blood panel. Can you order it to the lab? It's $30 copay. I go in, get it done. The results come 24 hours later.
I have Kaiser. Why am I not doing that?
It's really like, it makes you feel good just to know that like your sodium and creatine and all cholesterol, like all these different things. Yeah. It's just, it gives you peace of mind. I just think so much of, you know, people's issues with achieving their dream physique comes from the unknown.
Oh yeah.
So let's check some things off. Let's give you peace of mind in this area. Okay, we know it's not your thyroid. We know it's not this. We know your cholesterol is good. Like all these other things. It's going to be this then. Like it just helps you actually figure out what the problem is or figure out your pain point. I think that's really important and not talked about enough.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so here's my question for you. And obviously, Anna, if you have any more questions on the body health, everything like that, by all means, ask them. But my question to you is I feel like the two things that stress people out the most are like, one, what they look like, right? And I feel like we just addressed that a ton. But then also dating, right? And like, who is my partner and everything like that. And you have such a healthy mindset on the body and like, here's all these things I need to do. Here's other things that people should do. Here's what I've done. Here's what I'm trying, everything like that. Here's what I'm doing to make sure I'm good on a daily basis. Then when it comes to dating is a whole nother beast that takes people a minute to figure out and everything like that. You have a really healthy mindset from the things that we've talked about outside the podcast on dating and everything like that. But how do you, I guess, like you have such a dialed approach on your body and health and everything like that. What is your approach when it comes to dating?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm still figuring it out. I would say I'm 30. I'm single. I approach dating with a very positive outlook. I actually think dating is fun. And the energy you put out is the energy you get. I have been through seasons of dating apps. Like I'm currently not on dating apps, but there have been seasons where I've been on dating apps and it's been great. I've met some ex-boyfriends on dating apps. I think you need to put yourself out there. And that's coming from someone who is more of an introvert. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not really into that scene. So this is coming from someone that's very, I don't know, I have to get out of my comfort zone to date, but also I think, like I kind of just said, the energy you put out is energy you get. If you wake up every single day and you're like, God, like the world is ending, men suck, men are the worst, there's no one else out there, you're never going to find someone. But if you wake up and you're like, who knows who I'm going to meet at that coffee shop, or maybe I'll go to this new coffee shop, or maybe I'll, go on a walk at this route. Who knows who you're going to meet? Like, I think if you have that energy, you really do attract a different type of person. And so with dating, I think I have a very open mind. I definitely am picky and I have high standards, but I always look inward. So I wrote down a list of all the qualities I want in my future husband. And every time I wrote down a quality, I said, do I possess that?
Yeah.
And then there were some I didn't. And I go, you know what? I'm going to move that over here because I'm not a patient person. So I feel like it's not necessarily fair for me to be like, you have to be patient because I'm not there yet.
Love that. So self-aware.
So that's something that's really helped me too. And then I know, okay, like I need to work on my patience because if I want that in someone, I hope that they also want a person that's patient. I also hope that my future husband has a list of things that he wants and I check those boxes because he's looking for a person that, is I don't know, like I'm a progressive person. Like I want someone that also wants someone who's working on themselves daily, trying to be better, all of that stuff. So yeah, dating is hard. Kind of to answer your question in a long-winded way, I go on a lot of first dates, to be honest, because I wouldn't say I'm overly picky and I'm not critical, but I definitely have boxes that need to be checked. Mm-hmm. And because I'm not like someone that drinks alcohol and really into the party scene, that does take away a demographic just because I'm not going to align with someone necessarily that goes out every Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something. I'm fine if someone drinks casually or has a healthy relationship with alcohol. That's totally fine. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love to find someone that doesn't drink just because it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I think dating is fun. You have to have a good outlook with it. And I don't know. What do you think? Because you're single and dating.
I'm really curious about your boxes. I'm sorry.
Oh, my boxes?
I'm curious about the boxes that you need checked. When you're like, I go on a first date, they're not checking my boxes. Like, what are like the top 3 that like you immediately look for?
Okay, top 3 I immediately look for is 1, I would say a person's, and this is kind of like a broad one, but their energy. Yeah. Like when I'm next to someone, I'm big on energy and I want to feel safe with a guy. Mm-hmm. I want to be with a masculine man who makes me feel safe and puts me in my feminine. And if I get in a car and a guy's like got some, I might get in trouble for saying this, but has a little bit more of like beta energy or is a little more feminine, like that's a hell no. I like need a man. Okay. And so that's really important to me. I also need someone that has a very like sarcastic sense of humor. They can banter. They don't take themselves too seriously. I think that sense of humor and like laughter is such an important part of a relationship and just a friendship. Like when I go on a first date, I'm looking at a friendship. I'm not even thinking about a relationship. Yep. I think a lot of chemistry comes from sense of humor and just being able to communicate. And then my third thing would be an alignment in values. I would say like, and that's in the realm of spirituality, how you treat others, how you talk about your friends, how you talk about your family, how you talk about yourself, how you carry yourself. That's obviously a broader box, but I think it all kind of goes into like a natural alignment in just like morals and values.
Yeah. Amazing.
I mean, that's a damn good answer.
I know. God, you're so well spoken.
Yeah, damn, she's really good
I know.
at this.
I feel like
you should start a podcast. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, wait.
You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh, thank you.
That's the best feeling.
Thank you.
Okay, so what happens if, let's say you go on, I don't know, 5-6 dates and you're really into the person and then it just doesn't work out? How do you approach that? Because I feel like that's another common problem, right? They'll meet somebody, they're like, damn, this person does check a lot of my boxes. And then maybe there's just compatibility reasons why it doesn't work. Maybe it's location, maybe it's just life, maybe they meet somebody else accidentally, or, there was somebody else they were talking to at the same time. Things just kind of work out with that person. How do you, I guess, like, is there like a pump up speech you give yourself in those moments of like, hey, I got this shit. It is what it is.
I hope that every single girl is listening to me say this one line. Okay. Rejection is protection. I think that if something is rejecting you or a guy is not giving you what you want, take that for what it is and move on. Because there is a deeper reason as to why it's not going to work out. And you shouldn't have to be, I think that if a man is bringing you anxiety like every day, that's not a good sign. I think it's important to think about how you feel in your own body when you are communicating with someone and when you are starting to go on more dates with someone. If every time you leave the date, you're like, oh, are they going to talk to me? Are we going to go out again? Like that's not good. I don't think that's a good thing. I also think that comes from a lot of self-work though. I never, like if I go on 5 dates with the guy and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to like this guy, I always have a very level head. Hannah, this guy is not going, I really try not to put too much emphasis on one person. Like when you are dating and you're not exclusive with someone, I think it's important to like build the pyramid. Go on multiple dates a week so you don't have all your eggs in Johnny's basket. If you have multiple dates a week, it's going to kind of keep you busy. You're going to be comparing Johnny's characteristics to Scott's characteristics. There's nothing behind these names, by the way. Yeah. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's good to go on dates. I think that a lot of girls, they find a guy they find attractive and they go on one date with him and they're like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. Is this my next boyfriend? This could be my husband. And then that just puts unnecessary pressure. And I think it's good to be a slow burn. You want to ease your way into something, see how someone communicates. If you have 2 dates a week and you go on a date with Johnny, have so much fun, you're going to be like, yeah, that was fun, but I'm excited to see what Scott has to offer. I just think it's good to like put less stress on one person and more of an emphasis on meeting more people. And I'm going to speak honestly here. Like I'm a very monogamous person. I'm not saying go sleep with Johnny, then go sleep with Scott. I'm saying we're going on like first or second dates where you're just getting to know someone. It really is just like going out to dinner, having a good conversation or going to coffee or whatever the date is. It's also good practice. Like dating takes practice. That's not talked about enough either. I think it's good to go on dates. It keeps your wit good. It keeps
you sharp.
Keeps you sharp, keeps your communication skills good. It shows you what you like, what you don't like. I just think it'll ultimately help you find your person because you're able to see a broader view.
I totally agree with that.
Damn, she's got a great answer to everything.
I know. I'm like, shit.
What stresses you out?
Oh, you guys.
What are your weaknesses?
What pisses you off? Let's get into
what are your flaws?
Get a little mud. Yeah.
I'm annoyed. What's your
therapy?
flaws?
Weekly therapy. Shout out to Steve, my therapist. Like I really struggle with. I've gotten a lot better at it, but I would say like the element of control for me. I would say growing up, I was a very perfectionistic child. I had a lot of irrational anxiety. I grew up Mormon too. So I think that some of that came from just being in a very strict religion and feeling like I had to follow every little thing. Like if I did A, B, and C, then I would get this equation, and that's just not how life works. So I think that in my 20s, it was really hard for me to like rewire my brain in a sense. So yeah, letting go of control is very hard for me. And I'm also aware of that in dating sometimes. Like, I think I've got a lot better at just like letting go, letting God. I also want a man that can like take control in the right way. And so I worked really hard in therapy on becoming more in my feminine. I think I'm a really feminine girl, but I've struggled with being too masculine in relationships and like doing everything. And I don't want to do everything. Even though I can, I don't want to, so I worked on that. I'm impatient. What you said about the emergency, that resonated with me so much. I'm going to work on that. I'll be like making my coffee and I'm like, my heart rate is like so high.
I want it now.
It's just like relax, Hannah, take a breather. Okay. So yeah, when things are out of my control, that stresses me out. I've gotten a lot better at that. I used to like never go on vacations with people or like trips because I'm like, I don't know. I need to know like every little detail. And now I'm like, okay, it's okay. You can, I don't know. I've just like let go in some ways. And that's all because of like literally weekly therapy for the past like 2 to 3 years. And I really encourage people to find a therapist that they resonate with or that aligns with them, because it's absolutely like changed my life and hopefully has made me a lot better person for my future partner.
I hope you know that like it's a massive accomplishment that you have been able to work in a field that is like the number one. Actually, I don't know if it's number one, but it's the most common, like to me and then girls around me, tool of control is their calorie intake, their food, how much they're exercising. I feel like anything related to body is like the number one tool for control freaks.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're able to build a business and do it in a safe and healthy manner is like the ultimate display showcase of like the self-work that you have done.
Oh, thank you.
Because like that could easily go slippery slope. Like that could have easily gone to the other way. And like the fact that you were able to maintain that balance is huge testament.
Thank you.
Now, do you think, okay, because we've talked about this before with the podcast and all of that, and Anna having a larger platform and whatnot. Do you think having a larger platform how has that impacted dating?
It's been hard. I'm going to be real. There's been some, I mean, I never want to like, I always think there's nuance in everything. So there's probably a male influencer out there who's super normal and grounded and like,
well, I don't know.
You're asking a lot here.
Okay.
I know. I'm trying to like give him the benefit of the doubt.
Just for a male in general to
don't
be those
lie
things.
to us.
Yeah.
I know.
And an influencer, we're adding layers here.
That's not happening.
I know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's hard because if you know me, like I have 2 Instagrams. I have a Hannah Instagram that's like my family and friends, and I have Macro Habits. I keep Macro Habits extremely business focused. I have never once shared a guy on there. I would share like my ex's hand, or he would be in my videos, but I would never share his name or face. And I was very transparent about that from the get-go, and that created a lot of issues at the end and like out of insecurity, and that really stressed me out and bugged me because I'm like, I am so transparent that like I am dating someone. I went on a really big podcast last October and I brought him up multiple times. We were still dating at that point, and I was really trying to make an effort to show like, I'm not hiding you. I understand I am in a space that immediately can create some insecurity, and I'm aware of that. So if I'm dating someone, I want to make sure they know I'm not being shady, I'm not being sneaky, but I'm also keeping this professional. I will not share someone online until there is a ring on my finger. Okay? Like, I'm just going to be real with that. And the right guy will be completely fine with that.
Absolutely. I think that's really lame that you have to go on a podcast that you were brought on because of your talent and the thing that you have built, and you're feeling the need to like placate a male and his ego.
Thank you.
That fucking bothers me. Like, that was supposed to be about you, and you were like, wait, I have to make it clear I do have a boyfriend, so that he could listen to it and feel proud of you and feel happy with the interview that you gave because he was involved somehow.
Wow, I've never really thought of it like that, but yeah, it's disappointing. And it's so, to answer your question, it is tough, but I feel like I do a good job of kind of separating my dating life from Macro Habits. Like, I love talking about dating. I'm very open on my podcast. That's where you kind of see more of Hannah. And like, I'm talk freely. I can word vomit, it's easy to just kind of get on a tangent on a podcast and kind of unleash some things you didn't really think you were going to talk about, but end up talking about, and it's fine. But yeah, I think it definitely is going to take the right type of guy for me. I need a very secure, confident man who champions me rather than put me in a box. I don't want to be like constrained. I want to grow and I want to flourish and I want to continue to grow Macro Habits. With that being said, I also really want to be a mom. Like, I feel like although my job and business is very fulfilling. I have not reached my ultimate fulfillment because I feel like that's going to come from having kids and like a home, and just I really value companionship and marriage. I think marriage is beautiful, and in this day and age it's kind of thrown around and people don't really respect it in a way. Some people don't respect it in a way that I think it should be respected, but I hold it at a very high standard. And so yeah, like I'm really excited hopefully to find someone that can, like I said, not hate my social media or like make that my personality or who I am. But macro habits is the least interesting thing about me. Although it's a big part of me, like I am so much more than that. And so I don't know. I hope I find someone that can, like I said, champion that in me, but also build something with me. Like I want to build an empire with someone. Like I want to have a family. Like I want to be a mom so bad. I think about it every day. Like I'm really excited for that.
My only pushback to that would be, but don't minimize macro habits in that, because that story, like you say, it's the least interesting part of you, and that's
actually
because
so interesting.
you have so many interesting qualities about you, but like also the story of how you started macro habits and everything like that, that's badass. Like that story is so, anybody who hears that story is going to be inspired. Like there's not a person in this world that could hear that story and not be inspired. So I would also say, like, you can say there's many other aspects of you, but I wouldn't call it your least interesting, because it's something that you should be incredibly, incredibly proud of. Being able to build that, to start a business like that, to impact so many people's lives is an incredible, incredible thing. And so that in itself is something that, like, the person that you end up with is going to be the person that is the first person to bring up your story and what you did and how you were selling solar. And next thing you know, you're having this conversation with one of your coworkers and it leads to you putting out a TikTok. The TikTok goes viral. You start making a business out of it. Like that person who you find is going to be so proud of that. And so that's where I would say, yeah, don't minimize that. And I'm not saying you are, but like never do, because like that is such a cool element of you. And like, yeah, not many people can say like what they do for a living is something that impacts thousands of people. Like, you know, and truly know that they actually have. Like that's crazy.
And the right guy is going to brag about that when you're not in the room. He's going to be in a room for like his own business and he's going to be like, yeah, but my girlfriend, like, oh my God, if she was here, she would tell you X, Y, and Z. And he's going to feel so inspired by you. Like that is the partner you should look for. The person that's like bragging for you because you're not going to do it because you're too humble.
Thank you. Yeah, we can hope.
I think there's a lot of times there's pressure on women to like point out the obvious that they're dating somebody and everything like that. But I also think when it comes down to relationships, when you're in a really, really comfortable relationship, you shouldn't feel like it's an obligation to post the partner that you're with. I think you eventually just do it out of like, because why not? And like that moment happens. And like I've seen it with Anna where like she's in a great, healthy relationship. And like every once in a while she posts her boyfriend, but it's not an everyday thing. It's very
infrequent.
Yeah, it's infrequent and everything like that. But he's so secure with the relationship, as is she, that there's no issues there. And so I think it's like he's never had an issue with, there's so many people that like they date a guy and next thing you know, Anna, who's been doing bikini photo shoots for a decade now, like would stop doing that. And like there's so many times people stop doing that. Anna doesn't have to because she's in a secure relationship. And so she can post 3 fire ass photos that we took the other day at the beach right after the airport. Picked her up from the airport, went to the beach, took some fire bikini pics, boom, posted on the gram already. But but like her boyfriend's proud of that. Like he's not opposed to that, doesn't have an issue with it, is supportive of it. And that is, I think, another element to it is like not only just finding the person that like you don't feel like, oh, I have to like worry about them with my socials, but also the person who encourages you to keep doing what you're doing, because you never want to start dating somebody and then stop or like have it impact what you're doing. It should, if anything, only benefit it. So not to say that that's, you know, something. No,
I love that take. That's really good advice too. Where did you find him?
I met him at a Super Bowl party. Very organic.
Was it an immediate connection?
Yes, immediately. But it was like immediate in the way of just like banter. So like, once again, the sense of humor thing is so important because like I do that with my friends. I'm not going to be friends with someone that's not funny. No. So why would I date someone that's not funny? Like the one thing that all of my friends have in common, other than being like loyal and kind and wonderful and amazing, they are very funny. And so I need that for my boyfriend. And I had showed up to the Super Bowl party. I was being very self-deprecating. He overheard a conversation, turned around, introduced himself, and then we didn't shut up the rest of the time.
That's the best type of
But it was no
energy,
pressure.
Yeah.
It was no pressure. We just met, connected, perfect.
And what was what's your story been? I'm curious.
We met at a Super Bowl party. This was in February of 2022. And I very much tried to friend zone him. I told him like, this isn't going to work, because like, I'm very much a person of like, on paper, it's going to be this. And he was younger than I was. His career wasn't in any of the fields that I always assumed I would end up with. I always had a very specific type that I dated. And when I met him, I was in a very much like a man-hating phase where I loved being alone. I didn't really trust men. I was just like, you're not going to add to my life. So I became really good friends with him for months. And like, he never saw it as that. I did. I was very transparent about it. And then a couple months later, I'm like, wait a second, like you're telling me I could just be with my best friend all the time? And I've never had such a quick friendship, even with a girl, where I'm like, oh, you're my person from the first moment I met him. So like, I do unfortunately get like when people say, you know.
No, I love that.
You do. Like
That's
you really do be knowing. Like instantly, like you'll meet and you'll just have this feeling of like, oh my God, there you are. Thank God. Like it's taken you long enough.
It sounds like you had a lot of just peace.
I had no anxiety. I never had butterflies. I never had any anxious thoughts. I never stayed up at night wondering what he was doing. If he liked me, I knew the answer. We completely skipped all of the games. I mean, I will say I was a massive red flag in the beginning because I think I was falling for him and I just wanted him as a friend. So like I did do a lot of self-sabotage, like push him away things. But like if someone is meant for you, we talked about this in our prior podcast, you can do everything in your power to push them away. And if they're meant to be with you, they will find their way in.
Well, that's also a guy that knows what he wants, which is really attractive.
And he was never somebody. And like, of course, like because I have issues, I wanted to be the game changer. Every girl wants to be the game changer in dating. And my guy was always like flitting around. And then he met me and he was like, done. If it's not her, it's no one. And I felt that devotion from day one. And he said it in a card that he wrote me after 4 years. Like, if it wasn't you, it was going to be nobody. And I felt like that.
Oh my God, I have the chills.
From the moment I met him, though.
Yeah.
You feel
really
it. And it's like, I feel like when you hear that, like, it's kind of like the whole thing of like, my life wouldn't be complete without you. It's different than that. It's like, it would take something like this to make every whatever speed bump that you can go through a relationship worth it. Like, if I have you, I can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, and I think the biggest thing too is like I've known Anna for so long now, almost literally 10 years, which is crazy. But like she was never calm before that. Like there was no sense of calm. Like there was
neurotic.
There was always something happening that was like, it's like a little bit of like a tornado. And then she met her boyfriend and that tornado calmed. And like, and so, I think it's like finding that person is a difficult thing, but it's also very obvious when you're not with your person. You know what I mean? Like, so many times people are describing their partner and they're describing the most tumultuous thing in their life. And then they're like, but by the way, they're a great person. And you're like, dude, like you just described it's something that you should be going to therapy for. And yet then you have to give the little caveat at the end of like, but they really are a great person. It's like, but if they really are a great person, you also don't need to say that. It's kind of obvious.
Or they're just not right for you.
Yes. I agree with that so much. When someone is talking kind of badly about their person, but then they wrap it up with a bow of like, but they're great and we have a great thing going. I'm like, sister, you just answered your own question. Like, I don't think this is your guy. Yeah. Because if you're talking this much shit about him, first of all, you're probably talking shit about me. Like, this is like your person. I always am very aware of that. Yep. You know, if a guy is talking shit about his best friend to me consistently and it's his best friend, I'm like, bro, you are talking shit about me, because my best friends, like my circle, high level women, high caliber people. I want to be like them. They are amazing people. And I just think that that's something in dating, or even let's just talk about like friendships. Mm-hmm. Like if someone's talking shit about someone, they're talking shit about you. And there's a difference between talking shit and venting.
And expressing concern. Like that's always been a big thing for me, where it's like if my boyfriend is expressing concern or being like, look, like he's doing some things that are not healthy, like this is not healthy for his relationship or him. If it's concern based, very different than if it's judgment based, or it's like, dude, he's such a fucking lazy piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, whoa, like he didn't ask to get his life evaluated. Like,
and we're talking about like our circle, you know, like that close circle of people that you call and text every single day. I just think your close circle should be people that you want to be like. You become who you surround yourself with. Yeah. Especially in dating. I think about that in dating too. Like if a guy has qualities where I'm like, that's not the best. Not to say I am far from perfect, but you have to know, okay, things that people do, the things that your partner is doing, it's going to be a lot easier for you to kind of like morph into that. Or, you know, I don't know if you feel this way, but like when you and your best friend are together, you almost like are the same person.
Oh yeah.
And people will notice it. They're like, oh, you sound just like Anna in that moment. Or, you know, because you feed off of each other. You're around each other so much. You have the same energy. So I think that you got to like protect your energy in a sense, and who you surround yourself with is so important.
It's also, is it a compliment if you get compared? So like I've had situations where like, they're like, you remind me so much of your best friend. And it's like, ouch. You know, like, or it would be like, that is the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And you want the same thing for your partner. Like, do you want any of the qualities that he possesses?
Yeah, that's a really good way. I didn't even think about that kind of way of.
Oh, my boyfriend now is the only boyfriend I've ever wanted to be like. Like, if you said I was like any of my others, I would have thought you were being really mean to me. And it's like, wait a second, but you're dating them. What's that say about you?
Good point.
Do you want to be like your boyfriend?
Yeah. That's a really good
That's
point.
a good thought exercise. You know,
Yeah.
anytime you're dating anybody, whatever, you got to ask yourself, like, is this a person? Like, I always think about, like, if that person was with my grandma and grandpa, like, would grandma and grandpa be happy afterwards? You know, would they say to me, hey, what are we doing? So, you know, I just think about that, and it's like, yeah, I think there's I think back to when my grandpa passed. I was with my grandma, and I'm at their house, and my grandma she asked me to put on their wedding video, which still blew my mind that they had that technology back in 1920 or whenever that was. And so I put on the video. My grandma's standing there, and she's about a foot away from the TV because her eyesight's not there anymore. And she's crying, and she's laughing, and she's crying, and she's laughing, and she's just like reliving the moment, right? And I just looked at it, and I was like, that's the most beautiful love I've ever seen in my life. Like, and it's like, if it's not that, then it's not great, you know? And like, I think people always will compare things and be like, well, but it's not, my relationship's not that bad. I mean, my relationship's better than my past one. And it's like, but it's not that.
It
you know
could
what
be
I mean?
the best.
It's not what it's capable of, right? And so again, it was like, Anna will always say I'm hypercritical on relationships. And it's because to me, it is the single most important decision that you make in your life, because it is the person that you should be with for the rest of your life, and also the person who's with you through the toughest things that you will ever face in life. That is going to be the person that's by your side. So that decision is unbelievably important. And so she says all the time, you're very, very critical on people's relationships, yada, yada, yada. And I go, your current boyfriend, how many times have I been critical about him? And she's like, never. You liked him from the beginning. And I'm like, how many problems have you guys had? None. We've been healthy from the beginning. And I'm like, because it's obvious when it's that good. And then it's obvious when it's not.
Oh, I friggin' hate when he's right. It actually like really bothers me. He like really irks me. No, Mark's right a lot. It's like, it's the most annoying thing about him.
It's the brother and sister in us.
It really is.
I'm the brother you never had.
One day we'll fight. I think physically.
You know what we should do is
Physically.
I would love to be a fly on the wall for that.
We should
You
do
just be there.
The jousting. You know, the jousting, or like have you seen when people put on like the?
No, I want a headlock.
Oh, you want to do MMA?
Yeah,
like wrestle.
I want this. I think. I want to like, you know, when you jump.
Yeah. You beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, you would love that.
Someone's like, Anna, he's tapped out. He passed out.
He's been unconscious. I'm smiling.
There's a move, Anna. I want you to Google this later. Maybe I'll put the video in the podcast. A flying squirrel. You hit me with a flying squirrel.
Absolutely.
Actually, you know what? Search flying squirrel while you're...
I'm aware of what it is. I used to visit flying squirrels at this one pet store.
No, dude, I'm not talking about the animal. It's a wrestling move.
No, Anna, me and you were on the same page. That's what
I was like, I used to visit them at this one shop.
What would a flying squirrel do to me? Those are like...
I was picturing like legs spread, arms coming at you, flying through the air, and then I fucking land on you like a branch.
It's similar to that.
Where do you think they got the name? It's inspired.
Yeah. Flying squirrel wrestling move. It is a...
this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's a hell of a...
Okay, we'll put that in the...
Yeah, it's a hell of a tactical move right there. That's
exactly what I was picturing.
So Hannah, what is the end goal? Obviously, you've been building macro habits over the last what is it, 5 years now? Mm-hmm. 5 years. And so what is like perfect world 5 years from now? And I'm not saying that's the end of things 5 years from now, but like 5 years from now, what is macro habits been built into? What is Hannah Pointer doing? Like what is all of this culminating to?
So in terms of macro habits, like my coaching program, I would love to continue to grow and expand my coaching program. I have 3 incredible coaches, and I've always hired out of inspiration, never out of desperation. I think that's really important when you are growing a business that you started. It's like your baby, you know, so you want people to represent it in a way that you'd be proud of. And my 3 coaches, wow, top tier individuals. They are so good at their job. They were all once my clients too. So like they have their own transformations, which I think is so important because they get it. Like they are practitioners of what they preach. They can relate to the client in a different way. My coaches are incredible. I'd love to hire on a few more coaches by within 5 years. I'd love to have 3 more coaches. The podcast is definitely like my new baby and something that you got to put the reps in, a lot of reps, but I have this vision for my podcast and I can't stop. Like I really see it going a way of, I want to be a big name in like the health and wellness realm of podcasting. I definitely feel just really passionate about it. I can't even explain it. It's just like this like gut feeling of like, do not stop the podcast. Like it's hard, it's expensive, it's an investment right now, but I just can see this payout, not only financially, but just in a way of communicating with people, having interesting people on, helping people with different conversations that I have, all these things. So I would say I really want to grow the podcast. I want to grow the coaching program. I would love to put out more workout programs. My next workout program will come out in April at some point. But yeah, just continue to, grow the following, grow the community. I guess growth is just kind of the word that applies to all the areas. So
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be a star. You already are a star, but you're gonna be a star.
Thank you.
I mean, it's been cool. It's been, even when you guys were earlier talking about like the macros and everything like that, I just sat here watching you guys back and forth, and it's like, it's cool to know when you see somebody that like, one, you have this infectious personality that just like it just works with everything. Like automatically, it was like, even when I told you,
you knew I was gonna love her.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are gonna get along great, and then just seeing it actually come to fruition on the podcast, like, because I know how we've bantered back and forth in the conversations that we've had, and like the openness you have to like having a conversation on so many different things. I'm just excited to see where all of this continues to grow and how it continues to evolve, because yeah, you have such a talent at what you do and you have such a passion for it, and it's so damn obvious. And then I think on top of that, like, as people get to know you more, and even that private life, as more and more stuff about you continues to come out, I think people are just going to become that much of a bigger like Hannah Pointer fan. And like, there's a lot of people in this world who have a gigantic audience and whatever, and they're not really doing anything to like better the world. You're doing a lot to better the world. And there's a lot that people can take from your mindset and your approach and everything like that. So like, I'm just excited to watch that grow, because
Thank
that's
you. You guys are making me like blush over here. Thank you.
Well, we got to butter you up so she comes back on the podcast and hangs out with us
100%.
and returns your text after this, because you're gonna have questions about macros.
Well, you just got a client.
Well, you're coming on my podcast.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna just be a client. I would love to be on your podcast.
Yeah.
Coach me. I will talk about anything.
No, I'm bringing you on because I think we could have such a more in-depth conversation about
Please.
eating and macros, and just like, I love talking to someone that doesn't know a lot about macros, because it kind of like brings me back to square one.
Yes.
And it's like exciting. I'm like, oh, I see this vision for you of, and not even in just like the tracking macro realm. Like tracking macros isn't for everyone. And I can say that. Like it like earlier you were talking, not to like dive back into like the tracking macro realm, but you were chatting about kind of how in the element of control, tracking macros can sometimes be counterintuitive and make it worse. And I do think that some people like aren't meant to track macros if they had like, let's just say, a serious eating disorder, or it doesn't serve them. I think it's good to be self-aware and be like, okay, this isn't serving me. I need to pivot. I need to change. I don't think there's one right way to eat. I don't think there's one right way to move. I think you should always take what you want and leave what you don't. And I hope that people feel that from this conversation. I hope that if they maybe don't love tracking macros, they can try some of the recovery tactics, or that if they follow me maybe for, different recipes, even though I include the macro count, you don't have to track it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that has been lost in this day and age. And even in social media, it's so polarizing and like, this is the right way. This is the only way to do something. And I completely disagree. I'm like, every time you listen to someone, whether it's a podcast or follow someone, just because you don't agree with everything doesn't mean you need to paint them or put them in a box that's like bad.
Yeah, black and white.
Yeah, there's a gray. So,
and it's not all or nothing. Like, you can pick and choose little elements of your program and your lifestyle plan that work for you.
Yes,
that's
and
amazing.
From everyone, you know. So I just think it's always good to wrap up a thought with that. It's just like, I know that sometimes tracking and calories and all that stuff can have very, like I said, kind of negative connotations or trigger people, and I don't want to like invalidate that, because I know that a lot of people have gone through experiences where it has been triggering or has trickled into something unhealthy. But I believe there is a right way to track macros and a way to do it with an intuitive approach. But like you just kind of said, always good to like take what you want and leave what you don't.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was so nice meeting you.
Wait, I've got one last question to wrap it up because, okay, we're a fourth of the way through 2026. And so just give us like, what is your mindset for the rest of 2026?
Ooh, my mindset for the rest of 2026.
Or words that you're living by, anything that you're just taking with you the rest of 2026 that the rest of us can take with us.
Okay, so I always say let go, let God, and I surrender. That's actually my word of the year is surrender. So when something happens, like I totaled my car 2 months ago that I bought myself for my 30th birthday, and I just said, I'm surrendering this. I can't control different things of the insurance and the communication and the speed of things. And I just surrender it to God, do what I can. That's an example. Even surrendering in dating. Like if I go on a date and I have so much fun, instead of putting stress on myself or is this going to work out? I'm like, you know what? I'm surrendering this. I'm going to keep showing up as me. I'm not going to play games. I'm not going to try to be the girl that he wants or the girl that plays games. That's what I used to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I used to kind of get like a high off that, like that dopamine hit, all that stuff. Just an example of like surrendering. Just in every area of my life, I know that if I am putting God first, things are going to fall into alignment in every which way. So day by day, let go, let God, surrender. And yeah, I would say that's kind of like my mantra.
There we go. Well,
awesome.
What a great way to wrap it up. So let's go to dinner. Let's surrender some macros and eat whatever the hell
intuitive
we want.
dinner.
I was going to say, tell me what to eat. It starts now.
Okay, if anyone follows me, they know right now. They're like, Hannah is so fun to go out to dinner with because it's an intuitive experience.
Yes.
We practice portion control, centered around protein, all the things, hydrate. I have my digestive enzymes for you guys. Don't worry. I brought you the protein bars. Like we're going to be in alignment. Don't worry.
Let's go. Oh, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you guys.